America's sweetheart, Sarah Boone, yes, her trial was continued this week to next week. And it's interesting because it was supposed to start Monday. And because of Hurricane Milton, the court decided to postpone it for a week and said, we're going to start Monday at 9 a.m. Well, Monday is Columbus Day, and courts are generally closed. So are they going to have court open on a court holiday to bring people in? Because that's really going to screw with a lot of jurors, because they're going to sit there and go, well, why would I have a court notice for a day court's closed? Like, I get the feeling a lot of jurors might not show up. So things were postponed. Sarah's team and Sarah were in court, and there was a plea offer made by the state. So we're going to show what happens. And this is, it's interesting when we see what happens here, because I don't understand. I'm seriously confused. I'm seriously confused about what happened here. So there she is. There's our girl going up. The judge is talking to her and talking about, here's the actual plea hearing. We get to hear Sarah talk.
Do you understand that if we were to proceed to trial in this matter, and if you were found guilty, the lowest permissible sentence that the court could levy in this case would be 22.5 years in the Department of Corrections? Do you understand that? Do you understand the state's offer?
So her minimum sentence, if she goes to trial and loses on the second-degree murder, the minimum sentence, the mandatory minimum is 22 and a half years, chat. It's 22 and a half years minimum. And she's probably not going to get the minimum. He's warning her of the absolute minimum, which she's facing already.
2.5 years in the Department of Corrections. Do you understand that? Do you understand the state's offer to resolve this case? Okay.
The offer is 15 years to a lesser included charge of manslaughter, with the understanding that she would serve 85% of that sentence.
That's up to the department and her behavior, but that is my understanding.
Ma'am,
So notice, they made an offer of manslaughter. And apparently, they were also pointing out she would be facing up to 85% of her sentence. And that's not uncommon at various levels of the state governments in America, that you can get time off like that. Now, what does that mean right there? Well, that just means already 12.75 years. In Florida, though, Florida has other programs available. In 2023, the minimum sentence you have to serve at all is 65%. And Florida passed a law known as House Bill 115. It took effect in July of 2023. So there's an 85% issue, but she also could get applicable, and I don't know how she would apply for it, but when you multiply 15 times 0.65, that'd be 65%. 0.65 is 9.75 years. So Sarah would be facing 9.75 years, chat. Now, I don't know if she would get all of that 65%. She would only have to serve 65%. Maybe she has to serve 70 or 80%. I don't know. But she could get out theoretically in 9 years on a 15-year sentence. And she's already served 4. She's been in jail for 4 years now. Almost 4.5. And you get credit for your jail time. So guess what? That 9.25 years, 9.5 years gets eaten up and turns into 5 to like 5.5 years. That's all she'd have to serve. That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal at all. It's not a bad deal at all. I think it's actually a pretty good idea. That is a smoking deal at this point. To kill someone intentionally. I know she says it wasn't intentional, but now she's arguing it was intentional because battered spouse syndrome and self-defense. You intentionally killed someone and you get less than 10 years for it. That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal. So she's been offered that, and here she goes.
Her behavior, but that is my understanding.
Ma'am, Understanding the state's offer, do you wish to accept or reject the state's offer to resolve this case?
Reject.
Why? Why would you? I'm not going to lie. If this was my client, I would have probably jumped over the table and started punching her in the face for that. It's done. It's done. And it would be an agreed upon sentence. And I don't know how it works in Florida. At the federal level, you can have an agreed upon, like it has to be done sentence. In some states, it's that way too. But in general, if there's an agreed upon sentence and a stipulated sentence, judges will generally do that. Because if judges started just blowing things up, guess what happens? People find out who are in jail or other criminal defense find out, and nobody takes a plea in front of that judge. So judges have an incentive to adhere to plea deals. They have a very big incentive. And Sarah just says, nope, YOLO, I want to go on my own. I don't know why you would do that. This is so stupid. So stupid. Sarah, honey, take the deal. I mean, it's probably gone now, but oh my God. I mean, if I was Owens, I'd be working on trying to keep that open. I'd say, hey, Sarah, you know, like this probably isn't a bad idea. You should really take it. Like, I'm just saying, it's you know, you're not going to, like, it doesn't get any better than that. And I don't know how insane she is that she thinks it's going to work. I don't. And yeah, she's going to regret this decision. 100%. She's going to regret this decision. She's going to get felted, and that's it. And she's going to sit there and say, oh, I want it now. Now, the reason why they had that hearing like that is because now she can't say, oh, I never got it before. Or they never made the offer. I didn't understand it. Like, they went through their time there. This isn't an issue of she's mentally incompetent or she suffers from cognitive defect or is insane. I mean, she might have mental health issues of like narcissism and delusions, but she knows what she's doing. This is not an impaired woman. I will say this, guys, don't feel bad for her. This isn't a situation where you might feel bad for somebody like, oh no, this isn't how this should go. This is unfair. Sarah knows what she's doing. She's jumping in with both feet. Will she fire Owens before the end of trial? And then more importantly, will Kranick allow her to fire him before a trial like that? Because he might not allow Kranick to leave. Or Kranick might not allow Owens to leave. Because think about it, if Owens decided to withdraw on his own, Kranick's going to say, no, you can't quit. And if he tried to quit right now, judge is going to be like, you can't quit. That's a very interesting idea, though. You know, is there going to be like a Deadpool on whether or not he survives? Now that said, I think it's just a matter. I think it's a matter of time, actually. I think it'll probably get to the end of the state's case, and then there'll be some massive problem with Sarah and him. And Sarah's going to cause it. It's going to be all instigated by Sarah. I just don't know how long it's going to be. But it will happen. It will happen. And yeah, remember, it's not just Owens. There's a couple of attorneys involved. But I assume if she gets mad at Owens, she's going to get mad at all of them because they're all working together with Owens and Owens brought them on. So I'm assuming she'll probably scream, at all of them. And Jay says, I guarantee Owens busted his butt for that plea deal. I'm sure he did, but I'm also sure the prosecutors were looking to try to resolve this because remember, this is a lot of work. And if those prosecutors can do something that they don't have, like, it's like any job, the next 3 weeks, their lives are going to fucking suck. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. This could impact their other cases and the amount of time they can vote to other things that are going to be tougher. This is a pretty open and shut case. No pun intended. Although, oh my God, I hope the prosecutors use that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an open and shut case. I hope they use it. But yes, I could see them saying, look, here's a deal. See if she'll plea it because I don't want to have to try this. It's going to kill me. And I wouldn't blame a prosecutor for not want to try this. It's going to absolutely suck, especially when it's such an easy case that's just going to drag on. So that's the update for Sarah Boone. She starts next week. It's gonna be interesting. It is going to be interesting to see what happens there, guys. It will, like I said, I can only imagine what's going to happen going forward.